and welcome viewers. It's great to see you tonight. Now, Pegasus has flopped, we all know it. And Pegasus has flopped not because of the Republic Media Network. Pegasus has flopped because it has failed on one simple front: the complete absence of concrete evidence. No concrete evidence. There is not one bit of concrete evidence that the phones were hacked. Not one conclusive, concrete bit of evidence, viewers. In fact, the editors of the publications who made the tall claims are slowly, if you notice, beginning to pull back. One in the USA says in Washington that, quote, the purpose of the list could not be conclusively determined, unquote, which means we can't prove anything. One Middle Eastern channel that lives off the post-retirement BBC crowd now says that in fact the phones only appear to have been possibly hacked, which means again they admit they have no conclusive proof, and others are simply washing their hands of any legal responsibility for the big claims, saying that they just went on and simply published whatever Amnesty International threw at them. Now, as they say in business, never do a great advertising campaign for a mediocre product. In this case, the product, the so-called revelations, are not just mediocre. They are somewhere between a hoax and a false claim. We were all promised on Saturday 10 days of explosive revelations. They said 10 days non-stop revelations, biggest expose. Where are those revelations tonight? Where are they tonight? In 2 days, the lobby has fired all its shots, and having realized it's going nowhere, is back to the same one-trick pony act. Fear and suspicion, making people suspicious. Now let's step back a little, viewers. What happened during CAA? The same groups said that Muslims in India, they said every Muslim in India will lose his or her citizenship. Not one Muslim, the fact is, not one Muslim in India has lost their citizenship. Yet by simply raising fear and suspicion, they ensured that the country was disrupted, that 54 people died in Delhi. Remember, they died because of fear and suspicion. Fear and suspicion. When 370 was removed, the same group said, democracy is now over. Kashmiris will be massacred and butchered by the thousands, and elections will never happen. Never happen in Kashmir again. What is the situation today, viewers? What is the situation today? Kashmir is more peaceful than ever. Elections are just around the corner. There's been a big all-party meeting, and the lobby that played on suspicion is silent. But remember, viewers, and don't forget this. Remember, they played on fear and suspicion. Fear and suspicion. And what happened during the farmers' protest? They said that now millions of farmers across India will starve. They said that, and many of you then possibly believed it. Using the Greta Thunberg toolkit, they backed the groups that took the Khalistani flag to the Red Fort and cheered them on when they were doing that. And now that the farmers have rejected the whole plot, now that even Sharad Pawar has changed his line on this, the lobby is looking for a new cause in Pegasus, a new cause. But never forget, viewers, never forget, our Red Fort was desecrated because of fear and suspicion. Just fear and suspicion, constantly. And that now brings me to Pegasus. Amnesty International, whose support for anti-India causes is very well known, is the author of this report. They are the authors of this report. The whole lobby hates me tonight and hates the Republic Media Network tonight for emphasizing repeatedly, and I must say I have done so deliberately, on the role of Amnesty and Amnesty International. But can they contradict me? Can they contradict the fact that the entire edifice of what is being published, the entire quote-unquote technical and forensic work behind the so-called Pegasus expose was not done by any journalist. Where is the journalism? Which one of those 17 organizations put its own reporters and investigative teams to do the journalism? Not one. There was no journalism. The work was not done by any journalist. It was done by Amnesty International and a wing of Amnesty International. What does this mean? This means, viewers, that only if you believe and blindly trust Amnesty International can you in turn trust the Pegasus report. And I want to ask you tonight, how many of you trust Amnesty International? Whether you do or don't, the central question that I'm putting to you tonight is, can you divorce the credibility or lack of credibility of the author of the report from what is published in the report? And who is the author of this report? The author of this report is Amnesty International, viewers. And viewers, right now you can call any journalist, you can call any organization that has published the report and ask them this. Ask them that the claim being made on Republic is that the edifice of this report, the journalism of this report has been done by Amnesty and an NGO based in Paris, who Amnesty has worked it with, called Forbidden Stories. They have simply published whatever Amnesty has therefore given them and whatever Amnesty and their partners have given them. Anyone you ask will have to admit that this is true. And then comes the critical question. If this is the case, and that brings me to the moot point tonight, viewers. If this is the case, then I want you to calmly consider tonight what the agenda is. And I have a few questions for you tonight. A few straight questions. Question number one, viewers. What therefore is the link between CAA, anti-370 violence, anti-CAA violence, the desecration of the Red Fort by some Khalistanis, the Delhi riots that killed 54, the brutal killing of intelligence officer Ankit Sharma in Delhi, and the Pegasus hoax? What is the link between all of these, viewers? And my second question tonight is, why are the same players, the same names, the same groups behind each of these individual episodes? Accident, coincidence, or very well planned at an international level? Question number three tonight. Is it not true? Is it not true that a section of the media, many of whom have no established revenue model, no real sources of income, who live on all kinds of strange donations, strange handouts, and questionable foreign investment, put at incredible valuations by various global parties, that the same media organizations have worked in tandem to create an atmosphere of fear and suspicion in your minds again and again and again for many years now. And therefore I say tonight, viewers, fear and suspicion will damage India. It will do our future generations no good. Democracy is our strength. Our enemies want to exploit the weaknesses of democracy. Our enemies know that creating fear and suspicion in India by manipulating the minds of people using a section of the media is possibly a good tactic to weaken our country. Fear and suspicion, viewers, will only hurt our national interest. We, you, me, and all of us, viewers, all of us tonight need to simply be aware of this fact. Be aware of it and keep our minds open and keep this fact in our minds when they attack us again. Because 370 was not the last, CAA was not the last, Shaheen Bagh was not the last, Khalistanis during the farmers' protest was not the last, and Pegasus will not be the last attack that these groups do to damage our country and our